So tomorrow I'll be DJing at La Zumba Milonga in Amsterdam, which is organized by Lucas Malec, or maybe I should say originally, well, he's from Argentina, but as happens with Argentinians, his surname is originally probably from Poland. So you should probably pronounce it like Malic, but that's just my historical interest. Um, but Lucas, who shares my name, which it's quite interesting to have another DJ called Lucas nearby. But we both like the mutual promotion. Whenever someone hears Lucas, it's always good news. But Lucas is a very talented young teacher of tango who's building on his tango empire, so to say. And I interviewed him last year, almost exactly 1 year ago, I think. And I'll link the video in the description below because his background is very interesting. He's originally a musician, so he came from the conservatory in Amsterdam, from Argentina, and he came from Argentina there and studied there, continued studying there. But then he found tango in Amsterdam, so not in Buenos Aires, but in Amsterdam, and it's like the only thing that really clicked with him fully. So that's why he stopped being a musician pretty much, even though he still plays from time to time with a tango band. But his focus is on teaching tango. He's a very nice guy, and yeah, I'm glad he's doing these activities in Amsterdam, and yeah, organizing this milonga because it's a milonga with a very interesting history. And for those of you who don't live in Amsterdam or Holland, you probably maybe don't really care because it's far away. But I still want to talk about it because for me it's a very special memory. There's a very special memory with this because La Zumba Milonga is hosted at a church, which is called Oranje Kerk, so Orange Church, which is, I think, a relatively modern church in Amsterdam, where they organize cultural events, like happens a lot with churches that are not used anymore for the purpose of being a church. But this venue was previously also known as Santa Milonguita in Dutch tango history, in Amsterdam tango history, organized by Yerpun Castro, who is still also a teacher in Amsterdam and has his own milonga elsewhere and also DJs. And actually, Lucas and Yerpun are really good friends, and Lucas learned tango with Yerpun, so it's kind of a nice inheritance. And but Yerpun, he organized Santa Milonguita there for many years, and this was a well-chosen name because of the religious aspect of being in church. And yes, this is a very classic place for tango, and it was actually we had to leave that place because there were complaints about music, probably not only from tango, or probably not from tango because other dances tend to have much louder music like salsa or bachata or whatever. But who knows? But they had to stop organizing there. So it kind of disappeared as a venue. And it's almost like Buenos Aires, where you have this like venue revives and then venue stops and some never come back, or it's a mysterious thing. But yeah, after a few years, tango is back in the venue. But what I wanted to talk about specifically from my memories is that I DJed there once, and I DJed in 2016, I think at the end of May or the beginning of June. And that's when Yerpun invited me to DJ there. And I remember that this DJing was just a few days or maybe a week, but I think under a week at most, before I left to Buenos Aires, because after 4 years, I returned to Buenos Aires. And when I went to Buenos Aires twice before, I was just a beginner, and I went to La Ideal, Milonga, and Sin Rumbo, Milonga in the suburbs, like in the far away, but La Ideal as well. And I just sat there and watched, and maybe I danced a tango or something, but I just couldn't dance socially, like I was just a beginner. So who cares? You're just, yeah. it's you're just not up to the challenge of a difficult floor and everything. But that's what all leaders go through. So I went back, and it was for me like it was the first time that I was really discovering Buenos Aires the way it's supposed to be discovered. Like you go to salons and you dance, and you get to know people, and you enjoy that aspect of social dance tango. But I find it a very interesting memory that I was there DJing, and I was DJing, and of course I really liked DJing, but I was also kind of spiritually already preparing to go to Buenos Aires. So I felt very much connected with the music culture, with tango music and the dance that I saw there in Amsterdam. And I felt like I can kind of take this and I can bring it with me, and I can bring it to Buenos Aires. So it's like my tango identity. And because of health reasons and everything, I hadn't returned to Buenos Aires in those 4 years. But it was like an extremely exciting journey because I didn't really know much about it, even though I already knew it, but I didn't know a lot about like the traditional social circuit of milongas because it was so intimidating before. That's just how it works, I guess. Like in hindsight, it shouldn't have been so intimidating, but yeah, I didn't have the level to dance competitively in a way in a social dance where people are judged on their level of dancing. So it's it's a very special memory for me. That it's almost like the venue and the church and the mystery of the venue of a church, that it like it had something to do with spiritually with my own journey of tango and going there and intensifying what I was doing. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So I'll be playing music from 9 p.m. tomorrow night in Amsterdam. And I'll put the event description in the link. And according to Lucas, it's Osvaldo Pugliese birthday. So I'll definitely play some Pugliese, and I picked some really special Pugliese. And for those who don't know you, there's just a little hint. I mean, sorry, I meant to say, like, for those who live abroad and can't hear it tomorrow, there's a little hint. Look for Pugliese when it's both with Chano and Moran. That's all I'm gonna say. And yes, that's one of my nice special tandas for certain occasions. That's all I want to say. Bye.